Hey, this is Cameron McKenzie, the editor-in-chief at theserverside.com, and I want to talk to you about the solid open and close principle. Now, as you can see here, I've got a little Java class called area comparison, and you know what? This does not comply with the open-close principle very well. The open-close principle says that classes' components should be open for extension, but they should be closed for modification. And look at this class here. It's got a method called compare that, compares two circles. It's got another method called compare that compares two rectangles. And you can see there's lots of comparisons going on here. Now, let's just say I wanted to compare a circle to a rectangle. How would I do it? Well, you know what? In order to do that, you would have to go in here and create another method. Rectangle, we'll call that rect2, and there we go, rect2 over here. Okay, completed, done, finished, spelled correctly, and the code works, but look at that. In order to extend the functionality, when we say extend, we're not talking about class extension and inheritance in this particular scenario. When we talk about extending, we're talking about adding some extra functionality, putting more functionality into the component. So in order to do this, just compare a circle and a rectangle. Well, I had to modify the code. I had to change the code. So that's a violation. We want components that are open for extension. You can use them in different ways, but you can make that happen without having to modify them, right? They're closed for modification. Now, how would you fix this? Well, there's a real easy way to do it. And there's a couple of ways to do it, but one of the most popular ones is just to introduce an interface. So I'm going to create a new interface called shape, and the methods here in the circle and the rectangle class was always get area. So I'm just going to throw that method there into this interface, say every shape's got to have a get area method, and I'll say this rectangle implements shape, and I'll say this circle implements that shape interface too. So they're both types of shapes. And now let's go back to this class here. We don't have to have these different methods here, rectangle, circle, square. We can just say shape. And now we've got this entire class into tip-top shape, I would say. Okay, and now by introducing this shape interface and allowing us to compare components using the parent type, the interface type, not only can we do away with these other methods, which is just a nice practice in general, but I can compare anything. So I can compare a rectangle to a rectangle, a circle to a circle. I can even come down here and be crazy and compare a circle to a rectangle. So now we've got a component that can be used, extended, put into different use cases, is incredibly flexible, and we don't have to edit the code, specifically the code here, inside the class. Now, this main method is just running code, so that code doesn't count in this discussion. It's really the code inside of it. Now, here's the other thing too. With this area comparison class, we could create a brand new component, and let's get crazy here, and we'll call it a square. And we'll say this square implements that shape interface. So there we go. And you know what? We could even go over here. Now that's not a very good implementation. So maybe we'll say a square has a length. Set it to 0 to start with, and the area is length times length. Okay, that looks good. And now we could use this area comparison class once again. And in this case, if I created a square, I got to be a bit more creative with my names here. We'll call that square one. It's actually a shopping mall in Toronto. There we go. We can actually compare. Well, in this case, I can compare the square to the rectangle. And notice that square class wasn't even invented before this whole tutorial took place. So this class didn't even know there was going to be a component called a square, but all of a sudden this method here is using it. It can be extended to any shape. So there you go. Now I should probably be honest here and really take that. I'll create a new class called runner and put that in here because I mean one of the ideas is that you shouldn't be extending changing the code inside of the component. So I was adding this code to the main method here, so you can actually see now that area comparison method is just one method right here. But yeah, so that class can now be extended and used by a variety of different components, even ones that aren't even envisioned right now. I mean, it works with a circle, a square, a rectangle, but people could include a rhombus or an octagon and it would still work. I'm just going to run this code here and just so you see that it all runs without fail. There we go. Everything is working properly. Negative numbers means the second shape is bigger. Positive numbers means the first one is bigger, and zeros would mean they're the same. But there you go. That's a little overview of that concept. The idea is that the components that we create should be extendable, should be able to work in unique and even unpredicted, unexpected ways, and that should happen naturally without the requirement for the class being edited. And now that area comparison class, it'll work with any shape. That is extremely flexible. And that's the idea behind the open and closed principle in Solid. Now, if you enjoyed that tutorial, why don't you head over to the serverside.com. I'm the editor-in-chief over there, and I got lots of great tutorials on Java, object-oriented design, Git, DevOps, cloud computing, Scrum, Agile, you name it. It's over there. You'll be interested in it. If you're interested in my personal antics, you can always follow me on Twitter at CameronMCNZ and subscribe on the YouTube.